Good afternoon all, and thank you, Dr. Santosh, for giving me this opportunity. Today, I would be talking about sutured scleral fixated IOL. Is it still an option? After hearing to the different methods of treating aphakia, we know that cataract remains the most common elective ophthalmic surgery, and in the bag IOL placement still remains the treatment of choice. So why can't we place the IOL in the bag? It may be because of inadequate zonular or capsular support that leads to alternative treatment that has already been spoken by my previous speaker. So these are the treatment of choice in aphakia. Now, why scleral fixated intraocular lens is preferred? Because it allows placement of the lens in the physiologically anatomical position posterior to the iris, theoretically decreasing the risk for a recurrent iritis or concerns of corneal decompensation. Now, sutured SF IOL is preferred in a large limbus to limbus diameter as in case of high myopes. In some post-traumatic cases where scleral rigidity for the haptic tucking is just to be suboptimal due to corneoscleral or conjunctival scarring, then also we choose a sutured SF IOL. Or in case of younger children with lower scleral rigidity, who may do better with suture technique, especially using a stable, long-lasting suture. Now, this is a video showing a normal, how do we do a scleral fixated IOL. Now, two partial thickness scleral flaps are made 180-degree apart. Then about 1.5 to 2 millimeter behind the limbus, a straight needle is inserted, which is exteriorized with the help of a 26 gauge bend needle that is put again 1.5 to 2 millimeter apart on the opposite limbus. The straight needle is put into the hub of the bent 26 gauge needle and is exteriorized. After you exteriorize, the suture that lies just behind the iris is pulled out through the SICS wound anteriorly. And then the suture is cut in the middle. Both the ends are then tied into the eye of the scleral fixated IOL. After copious irrigation of the anterior chamber, the scleral fixated lens is put posteriorly. Both the ends of the sutures are pulled such that the lens is placed in the middle optical axis, and then the with a curved needle, it's again the sutured, and the suture knots are tied. The knots are put beneath the scleral flap. The scleral flap are either sutured with the 9 or 10 polypropylene suture that you have been using, or with the absorbable suture. And then the conjunctiva is sutured above it to secure it. So SF IOL doesn't go with without complications. We may have complications like, as sir had mentioned, subluxation, dislocation of the IOL due to suture degradation. Now this was, but it is of importance, and you need to know the technique, because as you see in this case, this was a PC IOL, IOL bag placement of the IOL done about 10 years back, where there was capsular phimosis, and the IOL was pulled to one of the sides. One of the haptics is pulled. Now, in such a case, what we did not take out the IOL. Rather, phimotic area, it was cut clean. Then a scleral flap was made. Then through the scleral flap, a 26 gauge needle, bent 26 gauge needle was again put 1.5 centimeter from the limbus. And the end of the needle was first put behind the haptic of the IOL. From the other end, a clear corneal wound was made, and a straight needle was put into the hub of the 26 gauge bent needle and was exteriorized. Again, the 26 gauge needle was put a little bit apart from the first one, and this time it was put above the haptic. And then again from the other end of the straight needle from the same suture was put, and it was pulled out, exteriorized in the similar way. Then both ends of the suture were tightened, a knot was placed, and beneath it was placed beneath the scleral flap. This is how we, without taking away the IOL, we could again stabilize it. So next case was a post-traumatic case where there was a corneal tear and a traumatic cataract. The corneal tear was sutured, and the traumatic cataract was the surgery of the traumatic cataract was done, and then after that, a scleral fixated IOL was put in the sulcus, but that it was dislocated. As you can see over here, half of it is into the vitreous cavity. So in this case, again, we did a vitrectomy. We cleared the vitreous surrounding the IOL. We picked up the IOL with the engrasping forceps, took it out through the anterior segment. We did two partial thickness scleral flaps 180-degree apart. After putting a straight needle through one end as a scleral fixated IOL is done, in the other end, about 1.5 to 2 millimeter behind the limbus, a bent 26 gauge needle was put, and this straight needle was exteriorized. The suture was picked up from the midpupillary plane outside. It was cut, and both ends of the scleral fixated IOL that we had taken out was again fixed. So we didn't have to burden the patient by putting another one IOL. We reused the same IOL that was used. And then the same procedure of putting the IOL back, pulling both the ends of the haptics such that IOL is centered, and then both the ends were secured, the knot was cut, and it was put behind the partial thickness scleral flap. So as I said earlier, the complications of sutured SF IOL is IOL decentration or subluxation, optic capture of the IOL, endothelial cell loss, and suture-related complications. Now, what are the suture-related complications? They may be suture degradation, suture breakage in the long run, unintentional or intentional small suture which lead to untying of the knot, and slippage of the haptics from the suture through the tissues. So how can you decrease the suture-related complications? We can bury the suture underneath the scleral flap as was shown. We can keep a longer suture which lies parallel to the sclera. If you keep a shorter suture length, probably there will be untying or unfolding of this knot, and that leads to slippage of the knot. You can use a 9-Gilo polypropylene suture which can withstand trauma and degradation to a greater extent. Why is this so? Because compared to a 10-0 polypropylene, 9-0 polypropylene has got a larger cross-sectional diameter and a 60% higher tensile strength. So after listening to all this, do you think still sutured SF IOLs still have a choice? To me, yes, it does have a choice. It is always better to learn as much of techniques as you can do in surgery, such that you might require it sometime or the other. And above all, it is cost effective. To me, it had a small learning curve, probably because I was introduced to it first, rather than at our time, probably in fellowship, we were not doing sutureless scleral fixated IOL. Sutured SF IOL is time tested with a 4-fold number of studies and 8-fold number of eyes in comparison to sutureless SF IOL. To conclude, sutured SF IOL remained the most studied technique and the most popular option in unique patient populations, such as in young patients or in Marfan syndrome. In clinical practice, dislocation or subluxation of the SF IOL as a result of suture breakage was occasionally encountered as a late complication that occurs approximately 10 to 15 years after surgery. I have not encountered one as yet. And of all the 3 SF IOLs, maybe a sutured, a sutureless SF IOL, or a glued SF IOL, all seem to be safe in majority of the aphakic patients without sufficient capsular support. So glued and sutureless or glueless SF IOL obviates the need for suture with the potential for a shorter operation, good IOL stability, and no apparent additional harm to the corneal endothelium. And these all will be talked about by the later speakers in length. So thank you for this opportunity.